So today's podcast guest is one of my good friends. I've known him for a good few years now, and it's Mr. Tom P. Livingstone. Tom, thank you for sparing some time to come on here and talk shit to me.
No worries.
Um, so, first thing I've got to ask you before we
Hmm.
talk about anything is what does the P stand for in what's the P in your middle name?
Well, I don't know where you got that from, mate, because my middle name is William. It's Tom W. Livingstone.
So what is this Tom P. Livingston that everyone talks about? Though? And it's not me, by the way. It was your staff, the
No,
people
I
in
think
Great Design.
our staff. I think it's you, mate.
It's
I
not,
think
it's
it's just.
not me.
I don't know, but we just like went. I just went along with it with you. So I don't know why he's calling me that. It was in Brighton when everyone said, "Why are they calling? Why is he calling you Tom P. Livingstone?" I was like, I don't know. I just let him get on with it.
Fuck. I don't know where it came from, but yeah, Tom
Nah.
P. Livingston's what I call you. So, but Tom Livingston, also known as Tom from Bright Design,
Yeah.
and yeah, so we've known each other for I don't know 3 4 years, something like that. I can't even
Yeah.
remember. And obviously, I've seen your journey from uh, back. I think you were relatively new into the industry. You did you used to work for someone called SEO Junkies?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, when I first got started, really just looking for an opportunity, went and found this agency called SEO Junkies. They were rubbish, to be honest, when you look back. But at the time, it was a foot in the door, and that's what some people need. So,
Yeah, it's always getting the foot in the door. But when you say SEO Junkies, I mean it sounds like a joke. To be fair, I mean, is that are they still going?
yeah, I think they're still going. Yeah, they're down near Reading Way. But yeah, I wouldn't like recommend it as a good place to work. But it's one of these like you just got to get your foot in the door and try and get some understanding of what's going on. But as you know, like there's so much information out there and people doing things differently, doing it their way and things like that. So I learned a lot from it. But it wasn't until I was working for Dixon Jones's agency, Receptional, when the penny started to drop, and I started getting a bit more confident about like actual what SEO involved and stuff like that. And when you feel like you're a better SEO than your head of SEO, then I think it's time to leave, and that's the point where you think, right, you got to do this for yourself.
Yeah, and then you ended
So
up in Bright Design.
yeah, so I met my mate who's a good sales guy. We went out for a coffee. He had an idea to set up an agency, wanted me to get on board. It's like, let's do it. So yeah, 4.5, 5 years ago now, we set the agency up, and we've got about 100 clients now, about 25 staff, I think. Things are going well, mate.
Yeah, no, it's as I've been in your office and stuff, and I've not seen the 25 staff. I think when I was down here, maybe about a year and a half ago, you were up to about 10, 15. But
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
ever since I've been speaking to you, it's just been constant growth and even moving offices into the nice new place that you had with the pool table. I know you've moved again since, not seen
yeah.
the place, but the agency model seems to work. But before we go on to talking about Bright Design and all that stuff,
Mm,
we're in the RAF before, is that right? And
that's right. Yeah,
so tell me, you leave the RAF, which is, fine, you've done your time in the RAF.
yeah.
Why did you come out the RAF and go SEO? Like, why? Have you
Well,
been a butcher or anything?
I I did my 9 years, and I just decided that I couldn't be bothered anymore, and I wanted to do something new. I didn't really know what, but I was mucking about with websites and stuff like that, and then I got a job just mending websites, working for Yellow Pages actually, and then some guy came in and gave us a day's training on SEO. And we go into this training session. I'm just like straight away, I was like, "What is this?" And then he starts talking about algorithms, and I'm thinking like, "What the hell is an algorithm?" And then from there, it just sort of snowballed. Just got the bug, mate. Just used to go home and just sit there and read about SEO all day and night.
It's weird how it starts, though. I
Yeah,
totally get that. There was no rhyme or reason why I get into it. Just
Yeah.
stumbled across it, but it's just weird. Like you came out the RAF, I just wanted to know if there was like I'm going to leave, and I really like digital marketing, and you know,
No.
'cause you're not your typical. And I'm not saying every digital marketing person's a geek, if you like, but
Yeah.
you're not your type of typical guy that you'd expect to see in digital marketing. And I know I fit into that category as well. I'm not your average guy for what I do as well. And
Yeah.
it's just weird to see RAF straight into digital marketing.
Yeah.
But good that you done it. But yeah, tell us more about Bright Design. Obviously, I've met Luke a few times. Great big
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's the mate that you met. That's
Yeah.
you set this
So
up.
yeah, so we work really well together because Luke's an exceptional sales guy. He knows how to sell, and he understands the SEO product. He understands web design and everything. So it was sort of like, without being too cheesy, it was kind of a match made in heaven because what I what I excel at is strategy and knowing what's going on and being able to do all the testing and everything like that. And so it just works well together. And you know, we put a model in place and we've just scaled it essentially.
Yeah, so it's going strong.
Yeah,
Obviously, you guys are out and about, going to events and all that kind of stuff. 100
yeah.
clients, and I know Luke has a goal to have 100 staff and all that kind of stuff. Is that
Well,
still the goal? Is it still
it's. I
continuing to
mean,
scale?
it's if we're able to offer like, well, what we offer is essentially SEO is just like one piece of the puzzle. Like we offer the full solution. We you know we say to small to medium businesses like, you know, we can set you up, we can do everything for you online, we can run paid search campaigns, whatever the objective is. Like if they've got certain targets, figures in their head, how they want to grow their business, then you know we can accommodate that and provide the solution. And I think that's what makes us a bit different from a lot of the agencies around like the Midlands and the South and stuff, where they're just like, oh yeah, we'd give you an SEO package, you get so many keywords and stuff like this. So we don't really take that approach as such. We more look at it from like a conversion focused goal, really, for everything. It's like how are we going to get that? How are we going to get those conversions?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
so that's you know that's sort of where we're at.
100%. So
Yeah.
is it all local stuff though, or do you do nationwide stuff, or stuff further afield? Like what type
So,
of clients
so
are you working with?
we've got like we've got about 65-70% local clients, like clients that want to just rank well in their local area or maybe multiple local areas. And that's it was more like 90% local clients this time last year, but we've been attracting like higher value clients, guys that want to rank nationally. We've got guys that are wanting to target international countries now as well, and a lot of the growth has come from referrals. So you know, there's been like marketing managers that we've pleased that have done really well. We've made them look good. They've then referred on to another business, and like we've got a few clients at the moment. Like you know, we've got a Premier League football team. We've got Premier League rugby teams now, and that's all come from referrals. So if you do a good job, you know, it can snowball. It's not always we don't always have to go outbound and generate leads that way.
Yeah, no, I think obviously you hit a certain point in your career. What I found where you do get a nice steady flow of inquiries just because of good work and good
Yeah,
ethics and stuff.
yeah, that's
Um,
it.
so yeah, no, it's good to hear that still going strong and stuff like that. Now I know that you, I'm not going to say are changing direction as such, but you're
Mm,
really big into your affiliate marketing.
yeah, yeah.
And obviously you're going to jump out of dealing with 100 clients into doing more affiliate. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, me and Luke spoke a few years, 2 years ago actually, and we said like, right, we want to, you know, enter the affiliate game. Um, that's the next step really. But it's taken time to. We've had to train up people. We've had to get the system right within the business and get people that can essentially like manage that process. And so the way we recruited in Bright Design was a bit different. We didn't want to bring people on that had maybe like had 5 years SEO experience and stuff like this. We wanted like hungry people who wanted to enter the industry, who needed a chance, because that's how I got into the industry. I just needed a chance, because they're with that, they you can literally train them up from the ground up. And in like some of the staff that we've had, haven't been able to cut it, maybe haven't been hungry enough or whatever. But we've got to a place now where, like, our SEO team leader, he's a very accomplished SEO now. And I've had, over the last 6 months, I've been able to take a back step from the actual day to day running and focus more onto entering the affiliate market. And it's only really over the last couple of months, like, made a couple of mistakes and things like that, as everyone does. But we are literally now ready to. I'm able to take myself out of the business and focus more on entering the affiliate market.
That's good. I think it's from a personal point of view, I think it's the right move to make, and something that I've done in recent
Yeah,
years is try and focus a lot more in the affiliate side of things than uh, that. It's obviously it's like starting again though. It's you don't know where
yeah,
your next income's coming from, and it's a scary thought. So, like, how what's the transition process like? Like, are you have you guys saved up a bunch of money and you're just going to hit it hard for 6 months, and I don't know what's the transition process for, because it took me about probably 4 or 5 years to make the switch from fully
yeah,
doing a whole bunch of client work to pretty much focusing on affiliate. It took because I always needed that cash
yeah,
from the client side, and I always had to get involved, and you get roped in, and as I
yeah.
say, I wasn't fortunate enough to have stacks of money to be able to do that, so it was
No, of
jumping
course.
in between. So are you going to just, if you got the setup right there where you can literally just say, Bright Design, your stuff is all in hand. I'm going to go now and focus on this affiliate stuff. Is that the position you've got yourself into?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I don't plan to take a wage out of the affiliate stuff if it's going to in the first 6 months, 6 to 9 months. We're just I've like, between us, we've been able to make a plan where we can afford to give this a good go, essentially.
Mhm.
I don't. It's not that it won't work, but we've got a strategy in place and a plan that, we're just going to go out and execute it. And then at the end, like, we've got a goal. We're looking at the 3-year flip on potentially, some authority sites, if we, if things go to plan. And we can look at the end of that and just say, well, at least we tried, or at least we gave it a good go. It's like anything, if you don't try, just talk about it all the time, and before you know
Yeah.
it, 5 years has passed and you've not got anywhere.
Yeah, I've done that a lot of times in a lot of cases. But so
Same.
what is your plan in terms of getting these affiliate websites? Now I know that you've looked at them and all that kind of stuff, but are you starting from scratch, or are you buying websites that already exist and scaling them up?
No,
And
so
also, yeah,
sorry, carry on.
well, I was going to say as well, is it going to be Amazon, or is it, are you trying to hold a different bunch of stuff when you're starting out here?
So we're not going to buy a site in year one. We're going to learn the mechanics first. We're going to get our model in place so that we can, if we bought a site, we can literally just take that site, put our model and our process into that, get it all sorted out straight away, and then see what happens after that. Like, I think it would be, I don't think we discussed buying a site, and I don't think that's the right way to go when we're in such a steep learning curve as it is. So
Yeah.
if we build something from the ground up, the time it takes for that site to become established, we can afford ourselves the time to learn as well at the same time.
Hmm.
But I feel like we've got everything pretty much nailed. I mean, so we're just gonna run with it. I mean, with regards to, like, Amazon, I expect that, you know quite a bit of our portfolio, especially on the micro niche sites, will potentially be the Amazon type affiliates. But I think that, just from my experience so far, you don't want to limit yourself to Amazon. Like some people will say, oh, you don't want to do Amazon. Others will be like, yeah, do Amazon. And I think it's got its pros and cons. Like obviously, Amazon converts really well. So you'd be
Yeah,
naive not to. But I don't think the question should be about whether you do Amazon or whatever. Like it should be about the niche that you're going to go into. You want to make sure that that niche is, you're forecasting that to be a profitable one.
yeah.
That comes from the market research. Like if you don't do the proper research at the beginning, you're wasting yourself a lot of time. So you can sort of judge how you think a niche should respond, where the opportunity is, and then whatever products you're promoting, if it's Amazon or direct or whatever it might be, you just go with it.
So is the job for you guys just going to be trying a few different monetization options, Amazon, maybe a drop shipping or, a couple other bits and bobs or,
Yeah, we've
where,
spoke a little bit about drop shipping and stuff, but I think we're just going to keep things simple for the time being. We've been speaking about maybe doing some subscription based Amazon affiliate as well. Sorry, but we'll see.
we'll see.
Yeah,
So that I'll be looking forward to hearing how that journey goes.
yeah,
Um, I like seeing people taking action, if you like, and I know it's
yeah,
something that you've spoken about for a while, and I know you've got a big interest in not Amazon affiliate, and as I say, I
yeah.
think it's definitely a good model to go down and it tests yourself in a different way.
100%. I mean, like the affiliate game is just another, it's another strategy essentially. And I think like my friend asked me last week, like why I was moving into affiliate away from client, and I said, I'm making SEO work for everyone else, but I'm not making SEO work for myself. And that's sort of summarizes, essentially why we're moving into affiliate.
Yeah, no, I think it's as I say, a sensible option. And I've had that question. A client asked me that before.
Yeah,
Uh, like, you're the dumbest guy out. You're making me all this money, and what you're doing for yourself, and you're like, fuck, you really do have a point there. So,
yeah,
and yeah, as I say, sometimes you just have to experience it, and then I think people will either jump into affiliate or something else. Whether that be training, consultancy, or a bit of something else.
yeah.
Ever, but I think change is good as well. I think if you've done 4 or 5 years doing the agency thing, I think that's
Yeah, I
long
mean,
enough to leave your
ag-
mark.
agency's good. I mean, like, and that's all. But that's all I've known, and it's time to try out you know, new ways to make money. You know.
That's it. So, are you going to still be working in the same office, or are you going to isolate yourself away from there? How's that going to work?
So Bright Design are actually moving offices again, expanding. Like you said at the start of this, we moved into a new office 2 years ago. We've outgrown it, so we're moving into another office, and um, there's a nice small office for myself away from the agency, but in the same building that I'm going to be taking up. So
So, there is going to be an isolation where you can get
yeah,
away because I know what it's like if
yeah,
you're there and people just chat the door. Oh, Tom, I'm stuck, and
yeah.
you're
Well,
stuff that's nothing to do with you.
one thing that myself and Luke have spoken about is letting creep set in, where just because I'm down the hallway in the office, like people, it doesn't mean that people can come in and knock me off because when it's like when you're in the zone and you get taken out of it, you might not get back in that zone again for the day. It could take 20 minutes, half an hour to get back in it, and it really really messes up your productivity.
Yeah, I think I'm one of those guys that are very easily distracted, and sometimes it's good just to have headphones on, crack on, and do what you're doing. And
Yeah, I mean, I get massively distracted because if there's a problem, like my nature is to want to fix that problem. Like, and
yeah.
there's problems daily in SEO, and can't help myself.
um, so no, that as I say, that's good that you're leaving a bit of a legacy behind. You've sorted all your processes and
Yeah,
got staff in and all that kind of stuff. For anyone who is starting out in the agency world, Now it's all good and well saying that Bright Design is doing well and they've got 25 staff and you're moving off into affiliate.
Mm,
It doesn't always work that easy
no.
for everyone else trying to do it. There's obviously been pain points along the way, probably people scrapping in the office nearly and all of that kind of stuff, and hiring and firing of crazy people and all of that kind of stuff. So, is there anything that you can advise people? Because I know you've hired people, you've fired people, you've
Yeah.
probably had debates with Luke, you felt like leaving and throwing the towel in and all that stuff. What would you say? How do you come out the other side and with success? Because I know a lot of guys that would just throw in the towel and say, "Fuck this," staff's not for me.
Yeah.
A couple of failures. So, can you tell us some of the bad stories and how you resolved them? Like, where do you look for your staff, or some other kind of some of the negative stuff that you've been through?
Um, well, I think like the biggest problem as being staff, without a doubt, it's it can be very frustrating when something seems so easy to you, but is a more complex task for someone else. And everyone has the strengths and weaknesses. And the biggest problem with the agency side of things is the people management, managing those people, getting the best out of them. Whilst it's a big, I say problem, you've got to know when to, you can't let emotion and sentiment get in the way of the decision, especially most agencies are small agencies. So you're spending day in, day out with these people. And you have to know when to pull the plug, and be ruthless with people as well. And some people, like, they could be the smartest person in the world, but if they don't get it, then you can't. There's only so much training you can give someone before you have to take responsibility and be accountable. And that's one of the problems you get with recruiting staff that are like fresh out of the block. Like whilst it's recruiting staff like fresh out of university or whatever and you can train them up. That is like a big selling point for us. There, it does come with its problems and stuff where people don't necessarily grasp exactly what needs to be done.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
it,
that I think I can relate to that very well. I've always struggled with staff and
yeah,
getting them to grasp it. And, with all the training in the world, sometimes you just don't have time to train them or budget because sometimes you need people to hit the ground running.
yeah.
Um, have you guys ever outsourced? Do you outsource,
Yeah.
any bits of work? Do you find that easier than hiring staff?
Well, so one of the reasons why we wanted to hire internally predominantly was because we focus a lot on communication with our clients. Like everyone gets, because a lot of agencies, they'll just spit out a report from the tracking tool and send that over and stuff like this. We like customize our reports. We give our clients a call every month to discuss it, to try and help this complex subject seem like understandable to our clients. So you have to have that. You have to have people in house to be able to give that. Whereas, like, part of our strategy is setting up IFTTT networks, and that can take a lot of time. Now, once you get a guy that does it for $50, you're saving yourself a hell of a lot of money than somebody that we're paying 20 grand a year to do that, like in house over a few days.
Yeah,
So we only outsource, not for because of staff issues or anything like that, but just because of time. Just some tasks are just cheaper to do. I know agencies, like I know people that are outsourcing things like keyword research and stuff like this, and unless you've got your SOP nailed properly, I just wouldn't be outsourcing that type of stuff.
yeah. No, I think you have to be you have to be very careful.
Mm,
A couple of things I want to touch on there. You spoke about IFTTT, and obviously that's been around for a long
yeah,
time. Not something I've dabbled in too much, but obviously I reached out to you last week and asked you to um, give me a recommendation of the boy you use. Which, by the way, guy was spot on. Done
yeah.
it that day, sorted it. He's also done one for Gary Wilson.
Oh,
So,
brilliant.
great. and I appreciate that. But tell, for people who don't know what the hell that means or what it does, can you just tell us what that does for you as a company? Where does it fit into your process, and just explain a bit what IFTT does for you? Because obviously the sequence of what goes on is entirely up to you and what you want to happen. I'm using it for videos,
Yeah.
uh, but I'd just like to hear what you're using it for, and just obviously to give anyone listening a basic breakdown of what the hell it is as well.
So every time that a blog piece gets a client's blog gets published, we have like the IFT. We have 3 personas for each client set up. These are fake people, and they've got their own blogs on like Web 2.0 type blogs type thing.
Yeah,
And they've got like their own Facebook, Twitter, nice filled out profiles. Just additional to that, we've got these personas on Mass Planner as well, so that they're generating a real following and things. But the IFTTT, so every time the client's blog gets published, the IFTTT is saying when a blog gets published, post it to this, whatever it might be, like craigcampbell.wordpress.com or whatever, post it on there. And so it's just, we're using it just with the syndication side of things. So the blog gets posted onto this like Web 2.0 or whatever, or it gets. And a better example would be that it gets tweeted. So when the blog gets posted, then this persona will tweet about that post. And it's the main reasons why we're doing it is because it seems to work on a local level. After about 3 months, we seem to get some nice increases across the board for the keywords. We have to make sure that the posts, the IFTTT, well, the sites are actually getting indexed as well. So we're making sure they're indexed properly. But yeah, it's just we're just seeing we're seeing nice results from syndicating the client's blog content on other people's social medias and things like that. And it helps with indexation as well for the actual blog post.
yeah. No, I was going to ask you that if because obviously indexation over the past year or so has got harder. Tools are breaking, not functioning properly, and
Yeah,
not as efficient to be. So I think it's great from that point of view as well. As indexation is obviously vital, and there's sneaky people out there who can look at your RSS feed and get it to ping them as soon as you publish a blog post, and maybe try and steal your
yeah, I know all
content or
about
whatever
that.
it may be.
We literally had
So
someone. One of our clients has had that done to them, and they're now our client is not the canonical of their own content, so their rankings have tanked hard.
yeah,
I know a few other people that's happened to. Yeah,
it's, I've got to make money somehow. You know how it is. So, I'm only
yeah,
kidding. But yeah, you need to be careful of that, which I think is why IFTTT is a good thing,
yeah,
because you can try and eradicate those sneaky monsters
yeah,
who like to play those games as well. So, no, I appreciate you telling us a bit more about IFTTT.
yeah,
You're obviously still using Mass Planner, which is a good old favourite of mine.
yeah,
Still working well. I still use it
yeah. It's nice.
on my yeah, it's a great tool. I think automating a lot of stuff is the key
Yeah, yeah.
where possible. But have you got any other cool tools that I maybe don't know about that you can recommend?
Um,
Give me a knowledge bomb. Come on, Tom.
well, one indexation tool that's working really well is I'm still with backlinks indexer is still working really well. I know that
Mhm.
people, sort of say, they don't work and stuff like this, but it does. Um, oh man, you put me on the spot, mate. I think like I know.
That one will do.
So like, I know there's been a lot of talk about like Cora and Surfer, and there's another one page tool as well that people use.
POP,
Yeah,
page
yeah, yeah, yeah.
optimizer.
And there's another one as well. But anyway, I've been doing like myself and a friend that's doing well for himself in an affiliate. I've been testing that Surfer tool recently. I know that it's loads online and people saying it works and stuff, but yeah, I mean, as far as I say as well, it's definitely shown some nice increases. Keywords that we're sat on middle of page two for, like 8 to 10,000 monthly searches. We're pinging up into sixth, seventh position for them. It's causing spikes in traffic. It's working, and it's for actually what it is, and the cost and the time it takes. Like it's a no brainer. And that content optimization tool within Surfer as well is superb. Like we're using our copywriters are using that now on updating some of our existing blog posts through Google Search Console. So,
Yeah. No, I think adding that to part of your your content process or whatever,
yeah,
is definitely a valid thing to do. I've seen great things with Surfer, and as I say, you've got to use them as a guide.
yeah,
But I think certainly adding that to your content process is got to be an important part. Not just Surfer, any of those tools, just to give you a bit more of a
yeah, 100.
your content writing, a bit more of a pointer.
Absolutely, man.
But
We just hired a copywriter. He's been with us like 3 weeks, and I've just said to him like, here's an overview of Surfer. You're going to need to get used to using this tool when you're using it, and he is absolutely loving it. So anyone that's got in-house content writers or anything, get them a Surfer license because yeah, it's really cool.
yeah, pretty
I'm
cool.
not I'm not an
Um,
affiliate of Surfer, by the way. I'm just saying it's a good tool.
yeah, but he does have an affiliate link if you reach out to him. So,
No, don't.
um, but I was going to talk to you just a little bit about your
Yeah,
processes. So, obviously, everyone talks about SOPs or processes, whatever you want to
yeah,
call it, and obviously you referred to as SOPs earlier. Um, do you make all your own? Now, obviously, given a new person or a person to write content or go and add title tags or whatever it's going to be, there has to be a process
mm,
involved. Um, who makes these processes, and are the processes text or do you just make videos?
both. So we do videos for the systems that we use as a business and the processes and things. That's all been done manually. I wouldn't say they are. It's, I suppose they are SOPs as such, but our SOPs in house are more for individual tasks, like how to optimize a title,
Mhm.
what sort of how you should be siloing your content, how to add internal links, like all of these things. Like we've got for every step in our like month one process for new clients that are on board, we've got an SOP for each step with the supporting video as well. So the new guys that come in, because we recruit from the ground up, we give them a week's SEO training, and it's very in depth training. And then they shadow the team for a couple of weeks, following what they're doing. But it stops them saying like, "Oh, Tom, how do I do this? Tom, how do I do that?" It's all in the process. It's all backed up with SOPs as well. So
Yeah, I think you would probably agree with this, but having those in place from the get go is, it is going to cut you down
yeah,
a lot of time. There's just so much fucking about with people asking you questions that you have to have these
yeah,
in place so that there is no, and also to give people the right guidance. You don't want to be that snappy guy where you're unapproachable
nah.
to a new member of
Oh,
staff as
exactly.
well.
Yeah,
So
100%. Yeah, the SOPs really helped us. They helped us grow when we, sort of because I'm sure SOPs had been around for a while, but it's only been really over the last like 18 months, 2 years that everyone's like SOPs this, SOPs that, and it's because they work. So yeah, highly recommend people get them in place.
100%. Now, before we
Mm,
let you go, I just want to talk to you a bit about um, the SEO community and all of that kind of stuff, how you find it, because
yeah,
obviously you go to a lot of events and guys like Neil wind you up and all that kind of stuff, and we have good banter and all of that kind of stuff. So I want to talk a bit about, obviously some of the banter is, we'll tell Tom Livingstone that the HT access files,
yeah,
hit the links and, you rank well and all that kind of stuff. There's good
yeah,
camaraderie there. But what can also happen with that camaraderie is you end up not knowing who the fuck to believe,
That's it.
uh, because people are joking around and saying crazy stuff just to get a reaction out
Yeah.
of people. How do you figure that out, because, it doesn't matter whether it's deliberate bullshit by a speaker on stage or your mates jacking around, saying that this works just so that you go away and test it and find out that it doesn't.
Mm.
Um, how do you, because obviously you're still relatively new in the
Mm.
grand scheme of things and probably still, well, I mean, I'm still learning and I've been in this for
Yeah.
donkeys, but, how do you feel or how do you filter out the bullshit and the jokes? What are you looking for?
I'm only so I do frequent the groups and things like that. That's where I was able to sort of start learning like different things. Like just when you sort of introduced me to PBNs, when we talked about it online and stuff. Um, and you spend so long just well, certainly when I got introduced to the groups, just following every single as soon as someone posted in the SEO group, go and read that or whatever. Now, like I won't go in as often, but a long time ago, like I was able to establish who I should listen to. So, if like Craig Campbell commented on a post, I'd get notified of that. I'd make sure the people that I knew were actually worth listening to. I'd only want to see comments that they'd put on certain posts so that I could follow them, engage with those.
Yeah.
It's hard to sift through and filter through everything. Um, it's that's I mean
It's
that's just a huge challenge. I think you've got to get yourself a mentor, especially if you don't really you can't see the wood for the trees a lot of the time in these groups. Try and stick to one
so
group as
I
well.
remember.
I'd say.
Well, that was going to be my next thing I was going to ask you. I remember saying to you a while back, like I said, Tom, you're in too many groups chatting so much
Yeah,
fucking shit to too many different people. And I said to you, you need to try and get out of so many
yeah,
groups. Would you say that was the right advice in hindsight?
yeah. 100,
Was,
100, mate, 100. Because
that?
I found myself getting unproductive, frustrated, and just found myself spending more time in these stupid groups than actually getting any work done. And before you know it, like time, I don't know about you, mate, but like 35 now, and time seems to be flying. Like, and I'm just like, before you know it, it's like a few months have gone past when you had this great idea and you wanted to do this great thing, and then you're just like, you've forgotten about that and done something else because you've been in this group and they've been talking about this and that, and so yeah, I just don't bother anymore
Yeah,
with any of that.
shiny object syndrome. That's why I always say to people, stay away from
Yeah,
groups. Anyone I talk to, I don't really. I dabble in the odd group here
yeah,
and there, but I don't try and participate too much in it. I just think life's hard enough without adding all that shit at night
no,
time or
that's it.
whatever. Um, and as I say, can be very misleading. And someone talks about something or a great tool or whatever it may be, and you've just stopped your affiliate marketing empire to go and play with the next best, social media
Yeah,
automation tool, and you become obsessed with it, and then you start making fake
yeah,
personas, and you're not making any money doing any of that stuff. It's madness. So I was curious to hear, because I know we all love gadgets, we
yeah.
all love tools and automation, but there has to be a time where you say
Yeah.
enough's enough.
What
Um, get
Well,
some work
exactly.
done.
Like, so what I do now, just to manage my own time, is I've got a book. I've like basically bookmark anything that I'd like to read later, or just anything like add to my reading list on my phone. And then like when instead of waking up in the morning and checking Facebook like I've done for many years, or going to sleep on sat on Facebook in the evening, I'll just be uh, going through that read folder and just checking these tools out and spending a bit of time, half an hour, just going through that, and sort of keeps me in touch. It stops me from sifting through loads of shit all the time, and means I can spend more time focusing on the stuff that I'm actually doing, the projects I'm working on. It's better to do one thing well than do loads of things all right, you know?
Yeah, interesting. And one final question: I heard in the grapevine that you sneaked up to Mark Walker's office for a day. Um, I can't remember who told me that actually, but I was like, the dirty bastards never invited me. But how was that? Obviously, Mark, one of the richest SEO guys I know, into absolutely
Yeah.
everything. How was that? Was it eye opening? Was there
Yeah, well,
knowledge
he was trying to get
bombs?
me to backdoor loads of plugins with him, but I didn't want to do that. No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking. But no, it was really good. The main reason why I went to see Mark is because Mark's been like doing affiliate, and he's sort of like where I'm sort of heading towards. So that was the reason why I saw, you've got to be resourceful, like be a nice guy in SEO, like help people out, and other people will help you out, and vice versa. So, it's all well just
Yeah.
messaging Mark. Mark probably gets 100 messages a day, but I thought, can I come up, take you out for lunch? We can maybe chat some ideas. You might be able to give me a bit of advice. I'm not a competitor to him, you know what I mean? Like, we're all like friends, like to help each other out. And that's why I went up to see him. So, but I think you were in
Good.
America at the time. That's why I
And
didn't come see you.
you've been up to me a
Yeah.
few times anyway. It's good to mix up and get some stuff from different people. I think that's
Yeah.
always wise. But yeah, I was disappointed that you bought him lunch. I don't think you've ever bought me lunch. I don't even know if you've ever bought a beer
Are you
actually.
kidding?
Um,
I've had some fun times.
yeah. What's the funniest memory you've got from any of the meetups that we've
Ah,
both
mate.
attended?
Well, so I'll tell you the funniest memory was when I just started with bike design, and we were doing agency and stuff like that. And my experience was very limited, but my ambition was fueled and stuff. So I came up to see you, and it's the first time I've seen you. And we went out for a beer. I don't know if you remember this, but like we're walking back to my hotel, and you were like, "What do you do, Tom? What is it you do?" And I'm like, "I just do SEO." So, but what do you do? And I remember like laughing my head off. It's like, I don't even know what you mean. What do I do? But then like, as time's gone on, it's like, you mean like, what do I do? Do I do affiliate? Do I do client side? Do I do this? Do I do that? Um, yeah, I just thought like, Jesus, it just, because that was only like 4 years ago. And now it's when like,
Yeah.
I thought I knew what I was doing, but actually didn't really know too much. But that just it sort of goes to show that you just don't hesitate to chuck yourself in at the deep end and just sort of see what happens. And that's what we did when we set the agency up. And then I look back on that moment and I just think like, Jesus, I knew fuck all.
I remember it very well. It was a
Yeah.
great night, and obviously you've not told the full, slightly the story. I asked you what you'd done after the first pint, and you gave me, just SEO, this and that, and then it was like 5 pints in. I was like, but what do you actually do? Like, what the fuck's going on? And then you still somehow evaded the question, nipped to the toilet, played the tuggy or whatever it was, and then it was like 50 years down. I'm like, you have no fucking idea what you're doing. And then you just bust out laughing. You're like, man, I'm
I don't know
rubbish.
what I'm
But
doing. Yeah.
obviously, what I would say to anyone in that position is very, very easy for someone experienced at SEO to identify a blagger like Tom standing
Mm.
there, just talking, making it up as he's going along and thinking I was buying it. And, I never bought it for 1 minute. But I wanted him to tell me he
Yeah.
didn't know what the fuck he was doing. And then I was able to point me in the right direction. And,
Yeah.
hopefully at some point in your career, I've helped push you
Ah, mate. You know that,
into
like, yeah,
that
like a
position.
lot of the reasons why we are where we are as bike designers through your help. So yeah, we're obviously appreciative of that. 100%.
No, it's as I say, I love helping people like doing
Yeah.
success stories, and as I say, it's good to then obviously meet up. And you've been up to the Glasgow SEO
Yeah.
meetup to talk, so you went from working in SEO junkies, working at that name, to doing well with
Yeah.
Bright Design. Hopefully, do well in
Yeah.
affiliate, and also do a bit of speaking and stuff like that. So it's good to see someone coming from complete and utter
Yeah.
noob, who had been doing all the wrong things to coming out the other side. And
Yeah.
as I
That's it.
say, that's why I wanted to get you on, just for anyone else listening, that we've all been there. And obviously you were in the RAF, you had no
Nah,
fucking
not at
clue
all.
what S
Didn't even
was.
know. I didn't even know what SEO
so
was till 2012. So
it shows that you can, with the right attitude and obviously taking times to run up to see Mark in an office or go to
Yeah.
Chiang Mai or come up to Glasgow or wherever the hell you've been in the UK, and I'm sure a lot of people have contributed to your success
Yeah.
story. But obviously, success comes from you as well. You put yourself out there. You've jumped up on flights
Yeah.
up to here, and God knows what else you've been doing. And that's only the stuff I know
I
about.
think
So,
I
as
think
I
it
say,
helps when you genuinely love what you do, like as well, and I do. So I'm fortunate in that I actually, you find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And that literally is what I tell every single guy that comes into work for By Design. So,
yeah, that's a good
yeah,
old niche. But sadly, Tom, we are out of time. That's 45 minutes. I was talking absolute
went quick.
garbage. Uh, but I'm sure people will be able to take away some good
Yeah,
stuff
hopefully.
from it. So I do appreciate you joining on here. But for anyone listening who might want to reach out to you, ask a question or whatever it may be, where's the best place to get
Just
hold of
SEO
you?
at tomlivingstone.co.uk is my email. But just private, just like ping me a message on Facebook, add me up. Like I'm on LinkedIn, add me up and message me on there, or tweet me or whatever. Yeah, I'm readily available.
Cool. No worries,
Nice one.
Tom. Appreciate you coming
Appreciate
on,
it,
man.
Craig. Cheers.
Yeah.